Hey everybody, welcome back again to the AD&D 2nd Edition channel. I just wanted to show you a very close-up view here of the eBay lot of Mage Knight minis that I picked up here. I really want to show you these on the turntable so you can get an idea really up close and personal and see what kind of minis you would like to add to your AD&D 2nd Edition game. So without further ado, let's jump onto the turntable. First up, we have a few minis that are not completely suitable for D&D. As you can see, we have a character named Avalanche, one named Boomerang, two Casman Gunslingers, and a Skrull Agent. Although the listing on eBay claimed that these were Mage Knight minis, and the majority of them are, these ones are clearly not. They are more so from a superhero line of minis, except perhaps the Casman Gunslingers. With the Gunslingers, there could be some pretty good minis as soldiers for D&D just by replacing their guns with more suitable weapons. I have a ton of bits that could be used in this way, so I'm sure at some point they can become some great project minis. With enough modding and repainting, I'm sure we can find a use for all of these minis. As usual, I like to group my constructs together when looking at them, and here we have a Blade Golem and a Technomancer. Previously I got the Blade Golem from another lot of minis, but that one was missing the large blade. This one's complete. I also sent the other one out to my buddy Hate from Save or Die, and the driving force behind the Tabletop Dungeoneers Discord group. It is kind of nice to see one complete with his blade though, and I'm sure I can find some use for him. As well, the Technomancer is pretty cool and goes right alongside with the other constructs I've gotten before. I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to monsters in D&D, but as you can see with this one, it's actually a half man and half machine, so it could be used in some very interesting storylines. Here we have a Shield Wall Knight, Armin Gessup, Xenofret, and a UTEM Crossbowsman. As you can see, they are perfect stand-ins for NPC or player characters with a little bit of repainting. We have previously looked at the UTEM Crossbowsman, so there's not much to say other than he would work as a nice thug or guard and just needs a little bit more enhancements on his face to be table ready, although he does seem to be missing part of his hair. Xenofret would make a terrific rogue or thief, while the Shield Wall Knight would make a good guard despite needing a weapon replacement as his is damaged. I do like the look of Armin Gessup, but a total repainting would be needed as this paint job does not do him justice. He was also the broken mini as I had noticed in the previous video, so I reattached his hand and weapon. In this grouping we have two Magma Guardians and a Feral Bloodsucker. I have previously gotten a few Feral Bloodsuckers, but you really never know when you might need another one, so this kind of mini is always welcome in the collection. When I first started painting minis, I painted a Fire Elemental, so I feel these two Magma Guardians would be perfect as minions of the same realm that the Fire Elemental comes from. They are detailed enough, and I'm unsure if I will be repainting them or leaving them as is. With so many projects on the go, it will be hard to say. I will have to touch up the part of their head though where they have their Mage Knight marker, as it does not fit with the rest of the mini. Overall, I am happy to have them as I can see them being used in many situations. Take a look now at Seeker Mock and the Woodland Scout. The Woodland Scout's pretty cool, but has the old Mage Knight muddy face look that will need to be sorted out. Clearly though, another elf character is always welcome, yet that sword will need to be straightened out and the entire repaint will need to be done. That being said, it is a solid sculpt that is completely usable, and that's what we're all about here. Seeker Mock is also interesting, and it could be repainted to be a drow or perhaps a ranger or any other stealthy type character. I still feel this one could use a repaint, but they have done a pretty decent job overall on the paint scheme. If I were to use them as an NPC, I might even hesitate to paint him at all. Just perhaps some paint in the face. Cool pose though, and I particularly think the translucency on the blades looks eye-catching, and they all look almost like spell effects. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, now we're getting into some very interesting monster minis here. Take a look at this grouping and we have a Werecat, Tomb Skeleton, and a Gorgon. All of these things would be great addition to any game, and having recently played a Were-Rat Infected Cleric in my 5e campaign, I can see the benefits of having some Werefolk on hand. I'm not particularly fond of the Werecat's color scheme, but as I have mentioned before, I'm not really shy about having to repaint these Mage Knight minis. The Tomb Skeleton is pretty great as well. I like the look of it, but the face needs some more detailing as you can barely tell that it is a skeleton. Now take a look at Gorgon. What a cool mini, and a horrifying really, as it's holding a severed head in its hand. I did not already have a mini of this style, and I'm pleased to add it into the collection, and while I am sure there is a comparable creature in D&D, I am unsure of what its name is. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what it could be. Here we have a grouping of gremlins, gargoyles, and devils. In all, there is a gargoyle, skulk, a potbelly gremlin, and a key devil. To be honest, I hadn't even finished writing this when I took the pot-bellied gremlin and put him on a new base. I felt that his paint was passable and totally suitable. After some cat litter, black paint, a tan dry brush, and a stone accent, he is all ready and good to go. These other figures are pretty close to just needing rebasing, and if you take a close look at the gargoyle and the skulk, they are in fact the same skull, with the skulk having larger wings than the gargoyle. I will likely repaint the Key Devil, as its wings have giant marker lines across the back to mark its Mage Knight faction. Still though, I think these minis are pretty great for the game, and we should have no problem fitting them into many games. In this grouping here, we see a few great minis that will complement some of the ones that I already have. What we have here is a Hawk Guardian, Shaman Og, and a Fire Salamander. The Fire Salamander would go nicely along any of the reptilian monsters I already have at this point. He is slightly larger than the average miniature, which would make him a great sub-boss of some reptilian tribe. The Hawk Guardian is actually a mummy. If you take a really close look, you can see the wrappings. So again, as a boss, in an undead setting, he would fit in perfectly. I think a rebasing would be in order, and I really like the hawk head mask that he's wearing, as it would make him stand out from the other mummies in a group. The final monster here is Shaman Og, who really needs no explanation, but he would suit any group of goblins or orcs perfectly. If you take a close look, he has an owl on his shoulder and a black cat wrapped around his leg. Very interesting details by my estimation. What would you do with these minis? Repaint or just rebase? Let me know in the comments below. And last but not least, some of the more beefy minis in this lot include the Tribal Brute and a Skull Warder. I have previously gotten another Skull Warder in a lot before, but it is always nice to have two of the same minis to make a team of monsters. He would certainly have many uses on the table and could stand in for a number of different creatures. Finally, the Tribal Brute is pretty cool all around, as its name suggests, and he has a rather dynamic pose that's pretty menacing as he looks like he's about to launch a vicious attack. Again, as a boss of a smaller group of brutes, he would be right at home. Well, that's the eBay lot of Mage Knight minis that I picked up there. I must say that I'm really impressed with this lot that I got. With the shipping, I paid just over slightly $1 per mini. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, thanks again for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.